Ever wander into a museum and wish it was, a little less about what everyone else thinks you should see and a little more tailored to you?
Sounds like you'd be a perfect candidate to experience what Mad Systems is doing.
Mad Systems, fill me in.
They're all about creating those really engaging, personalized experiences, but they're taking it way beyond what we've come to expect.
So we're not just talking about screens and speakers here.
Nope. Think bigger. They're taking their 25 years of experience with traditional audiovisual setups and really pushing those boundaries with what they call AV.
AV. Okay, now you have to elaborate because that sounds intriguing, but I'm not sure I get it.
It's kind of like this. Imagine a system that doesn't just play content, but actually anticipates what you need, what you prefer, and adapts the experience accordingly. Like a conversation, not just a pre-recorded message.
And how do they pull that off? What's the secret sauce?
Well, it all starts with a really solid foundation in the basics. They actually have a system called QuickSilver. Uses standard computer hardware, believe it or not.
That doesn't sound very magical or personalized. What's the big deal with that?
But that's the beauty of it. By using standard hardware, it becomes incredibly adaptable and easy to maintain. And for you, the listener, the key thing to remember is that it can be wired or wireless, which is super flexible depending on the environment.
Okay, so that's super practical, especially for places like museums or theme parks where you don't want tech to be like an eyesore or a hassle. But where does the whole AV part come in?
That's where things get really exciting. See, Mad Systems has this suite of AV technologies. They call them the Fantastic Four. Each one is designed to really take that user experience to a whole new level.
Okay, you can't just drop the Fantastic Four on me and not elaborate. What's the first one we should know about?
All right. Let's start with CheshireCat.
CheshireCat, like from Alice in Wonderland. Okay, now I'm picturing something that appears and disappears. Am I on the right track?
Sort of. Yeah. Remember we were talking about personalization? CheshireCat is all about that. It uses patented recognition technology to actually identify visitors and then tailors their experience. But here's the kicker. No internet connection needed.
Hold on. It personalizes stuff without the internet. How is that even possible?
It's pretty mind-blowing and a huge win for privacy. All the personalization happens offline, which is pretty unique in this day and age.
Okay, that's pretty fantastic. But how fast are we talking here? Can it actually tailor things in real time?
Oh, it's fast. It has a response time of just half a second. Imagine walking into a museum and within a heartbeat, boom, the exhibits are adjusting to show you stuff based on your interests.
Oh, that sounds like magic. So we've met CheshireCat. What about the rest of these Fantastic Four? Who else is in the lineup?
Next up, let me introduce you to Alice.
Alice. Are we going full-on Wonderland with these names?
Maybe, but remember how we talked about AV being like a conversation? Well, Alice is the one who keeps that conversation going. She's powered by AI and can deliver those hyper-personalized experiences we're talking about in over 200 languages.
200 languages. Okay, now I'm really curious. How does Alice work exactly?
Picture this. You walk up to an exhibit, and there are a few simple ways to register, like scanning a code, just really quick and easy.
So you're basically telling Alice a bit about yourself.
Exactly. Things like your age, what you're into, what languages you speak. Then Alice uses that information, taps into this massive body of knowledge database, and curates the perfect content just for you.
So let's say I'm an art buff and I'm visiting a museum in, Rome. Alice could instantly tailor everything to my interests and give me all the info in English.
You got it. It's about making those experiences as engaging and accessible as possible, no matter who you are or where you're from. And for those who want something even more personal, there's Lory.
All right, now you have to tell me, does Lory involve a talking bird?
Well, it is about bringing a personal touch to things.
Okay, I'll stop with the jokes. What makes Lory so special? So Lory's all about bringing that personal touch, huh? Does it involve a smartphone app or something like that?
You got it. It's like having a personal tour guide right on your phone.
Okay, now that's convenient, especially in a museum. No more fumbling with those clunky audio guides.
Right. And it's not just about convenience, though.
What else makes it stand out?
Well, they've built in a lot of accessibility features, things like hearing assistance, options for people with vision challenges.
That's awesome.
And, of course, it has that same multilingual support that Alice has.
So they've really thought of everything, huh? Making these experiences as inclusive as possible.
Exactly. It all goes back to that idea of, meeting people where they are.
And speaking of which, we can't forget about CheshireCat working its magic behind the scenes.
Oh, absolutely. That tokenless recognition is key.
No need to remember a card or even your phone. The system just knows who you are.
Exactly. No tokens, no cards, nothing for the visitor to even think about. It just works.
Super seamless.
And CheshireCat makes sure that whether you're interacting with Alice at an exhibit or you've got Lory on your phone, you're getting that personalized experience.
I love it. So we've talked about QuickSilver, the hardware side of things, and those fantastic four AV technologies. But earlier you mentioned something called Q support, and it piqued my interest. It sounds like MAD Systems really has a knack for not just building these incredible systems, but for making sure they run smoothly.
Absolutely. Q support is all about keeping things running smoothly and making sure those AV solutions we talked about are future-proof.
Music to my ears. So give me the rundown of this support system. What are the key features?
One of the coolest things is a feature called Lifesaver, and it's all about real-time monitoring, so any potential issues are caught before they even become problems. It's like having a tech expert on call 24/7.
Wow, that's a game changer, especially for these complex setups. What about when something does go wrong? Because let's be honest, tech isn't perfect. How do they handle troubleshooting?
They've got that covered too. There's TrueCheck, which lets them do diagnostics and even fix stuff remotely.
No need to send a technician out there every time something hiccups.
Exactly. Saves everyone a lot of time and headaches, right?
Yeah.
And then there's TrueView.
Okay, and what does TrueView do?
It's all about visibility. It gives them a real-time look at what's playing on any screen in the entire system, all from a central location.
Talk about comprehensive. They really have thought of everything, haven't they? But there was one Q support feature that really stood out to me when you mentioned it, Quanalysis. Am I saying that right?
You got it.
So what makes this Quanalysis thing so special?
It's all about data, really.
Data? In what way?
It gives MAD Systems this incredibly detailed look at how people are actually using their AV setups.
So it's not just about delivering a cool experience, it's about understanding how people interact with it.
You got it. Quanalysis can tell them things like what exhibits are the most popular, how long people are spending with certain content, even what languages are being used the most.
So they're taking all that data and then they can use it to actually make the experiences even better.
You got it. No more guesswork, just real insights into what's resonating with people.
This is seriously impressive stuff. We've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about MAD Systems' innovative approach to traditional AV with QuickSilver and their really impressive support system, Q support.
And let's not forget those fantastic four AV technologies.
Right. CheshireCat, Alice, and Lory. They're completely changing how we experience, everything.
It really has been a deep dive. We've seen how technology can make things more personal, break down barriers, and even kind of anticipate what we need.
It's really got me thinking about the future of museums, theme parks, all these places where we go for experiences. It really makes you wonder what happens when everything is tailored just to us, Like, are we missing out on discovering something new because we're so focused on what we already like?
That's a really interesting question, right? Like, if all we're getting are these hyper-personalized experiences, are we limiting ourselves in a way?
Exactly. Like, I love getting those personalized recommendations, but sometimes it feels like I'm stuck in this bubble of my own taste,
I know what you mean. It's that whole thing, like you go searching for something specific online, and then suddenly the algorithm's only showing you things that fit neatly into that box.
And you miss out on all the other cool stuff that's out there, the stuff you might not even know you'd love.
Exactly. I think there's something to be said for that element of surprise.
Yeah.
Stumbling onto something you weren't even looking for.
It's like, how do we find that balance? Enjoying the perks of personalization without, getting stuck in our own little worlds.
It's a tough one, that's for sure. It
Yeah.
takes a conscious effort, being aware of that potential pitfall and then actively trying to step outside of those comfort zones.
So maybe it's about seeking out those unexpected encounters.
Exactly. Visiting that museum exhibit that wouldn't normally catch your eye, or striking up a conversation with someone who has totally different experiences.
It's a good reminder that sometimes the most rewarding experiences are the ones we least expect, right?
Yeah.
The ones that take us by surprise.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Because you never know, those unexpected encounters, they might just open your mind to a whole new way of seeing things.
It's an exciting thought, isn't it? That even in a world where everything feels increasingly driven by data and what we already know, there's still room for that sense of wonder and discovery.
Absolutely. And companies like MAD Systems, they're leading the way, showing us what's possible when you combine cutting-edge technology with a real passion for creating meaningful experiences.
A huge thank you to MAD Systems for giving us so much to think about. It's been an incredible deep dive, and I have a feeling this is just the beginning of a whole new era of immersive experiences.
I'm with you on that one. It's an exciting time to be following the world of AV.